It was December, and second semester was almost over, and I'm looking forward to the second semester being over. But because once the semester ended and winter break began, we would have had Christmas, New Year's Day in quick succession. Oh my God. But before that, we students had exams waiting for us. If you botch those up, then your year-end events would be filled with supplementary classes and assignments. I've never actually had that happen to me because tests weren't really that much of a problem. Even without studying. At Suiku Academy, you could usually advance to the next grade through the escalator system. But if your test scores were bad, there were various things you had to do so you didn't flunk, quote, quote. I placed my mechanical pencil on my desk and stretched until I could hear my spine popping. Oh, he's doing the stretch! In front of me were the the notes I'd taken in class and the loose leaf bundle in which I'd collected what I needed for tests. Oh, it's late. You know what that means? It means sleep. According to my alarm clock, which I'd moved to my desk, it was already past midnight. I had school tomorrow. If I didn't get any sleep soon, I wouldn't be able to get up. Although I was studying late like this, it wasn't like the tests were gonna begin tomorrow. I couldn't afford to exert myself too much now, and I didn't really feel like studying in the first place. It wasn't like there was a school I wanted to go to after I graduated, and I wasn't really thinking about exams yet either. And yet lately I had been staying up late studying. What? The reason was simple, because we don't want to... Yup, I don't want to sleep. My chair creaked as I leaned back on it. I let my hands fall listlessly to my sides, but that wouldn't change reality. I would go to that room if I dreamed. Having Cotton Club Prez involved recently, the tea party in that room had gotten even livelier. I don't dislike seeing those people there. If the dream just ended with that room, then there would be no problem. But you know, the problem was Maya's existence. Just Maya appearing would be a problem for me. But on top of that, she was inviting us into nightmares. Just thinking about how I might have that dream made me feel like my mind was being worn away little by little, whether I was used to it or not. Oh, it's being shaved away. But if I slept, that's where I would end up. It wasn't something to be proud of, but I never really was good at studying. I figured that if I got all worn out from concentrating on my studies, then I wouldn't have the energy to dream, and I'd just be able to sleep. Well, that endeavor failed spectacularly. For the past few days, I studied hard before I went to sleep, but last night and the night before that, I ended up going right back to that tea party. Then again, I dreamt that time Saki slept over, even though I took one of the pills I got from Club Prez, so I had a vague notion that I wouldn't be able to escape it just because I was tired. Studying like this, knowing how fruitless it would be, felt like a waste, but I was too stubborn to quit. And at the tea party, we weren't just hanging out lazily like we usually did. As Club Prez had kindly put it. Oh.
この時期に勉強時間増えてラッキーだわ。
Uh-huh. And she started to use that time to cram for her exams. That's fancy. I didn't know exactly how accurate the reference books she brought into the dream were, but the stuff I had learned was at least correct. See? Club Prez was smart, but she was also a hard worker who took her study seriously, literally studying in your sleep. Good lord. Plus, she was a caring person, so she helped me study. Then Saki and Alice had gotten involved, and we all started cramming for exams together. Wonder if that'll happen again today. I didn't mind that, actually. Maya sometimes showed up out of the blue, but she didn't really bother us when we were studying. She just She just kind of, In fact, I sort of got the feeling she had a gentle expression on her face as she watched over us. The fact that she looked to me like she was saying, "There's no point in doing that," was certainly just me being paranoid. Then, was I selfish for not wanting to sleep despite that? When would we next get caught up in someone's dream? And would it be my dream? Nope, it's gonna be a new girl. So far, everyone had been able to come back, but there was no guarantee that would continue to be the case. In the end, if it was my dream, would I be able to make it back? Thinking of that made me scared to sleep. Maybe I'll just go outside. If I continued to worry in my apartment, it seemed likely I would be confined to unpleasant thoughts. And more importantly, I would get sleepy. Got jumpy. Call it trying to escape reality, or rather trying to escape my dreams. I put on my coat and decided to go for a little walk to get away from my current situation. Fresh air. Oh, yup. Is she gonna be here this late at night? I'm not slacking off or running away. I'm just going to buy some coffee at the local convenience store because I'm tired. I set out humming half-assedly. When I got to the convenience store, they were out of coffee I usually drank. Crap. It wasn't vital for me to have that exact brand, but I was stubborn, and now I had an excuse to go looking for it. I wandered around seeking my coffee. Next thing I knew, I'd come to the front of the train station. I've walked quite a ways. I'd finally been able to get what I'd been after, but I never thought I'd come this far. Oh, he's looking up at the sky! On top of that, the sky was looking ominous. It had smelled like a winter storm was approaching for a while, and when I looked up, the clouds were bulky. I no longer had an excuse for taking a walk, so I figured it was best if I headed home quick. Just as I thought that, the raindrops started finally falling. Oh, that's eerie. It's raining outside right now. But it's that, hot rain, humid grossness. Yeah, that's what's happening. Not good. Crap. Of course, I hadn't brought an umbrella. Though it was winter, the rain started coming down hard all at once. At this rate, maybe it'll ease up soon? I hurriedly took shelter under the eaves of a nearby building. Oh, now I should just play this when I'm sleeping. Like just the music with the rain sound. I leaned up against the automatic doors, which weren't opening, and looked up at the sky. It was a cold, sleepy, that's what I say, sleety kind of rain. I really wasn't in the mood to run home through this. I wish it would ease up a little. I gave a small, exasperated sigh. I was a little annoyed at myself for going for a walk because I didn't want to sleep and getting caught in the rain. I would have to sleep eventually anyway. Not sleeping would just cause me to doze off and faint at school again. Was this rain a punishment or something for making excuses and running away despite all that? Well, there's no way the weather would change for one person. Don't say that. It's not like this was a dream. Suddenly, a disturbing thought came to my mind, and I snapped my fingers. Dude, if the rain stops. Stop. Rain. I willed for it to happen. If this was a dream of mine, the rain would probably stop or weaken, but nothing of the sort happened. Okay, we're not in a dream. Just as I breathed a sigh of relief, a figure suddenly entered my field of vision. Whoa! They must have gotten caught in the rain like me. They didn't have an umbrella, but they carried a large case that looked like more than a meter long. When I approached the street, I realized who that figure was. Hello, Hirosaka? Question mark, Space Marines? What are you doing here late this night? I mean, you could ask me the same question, but Hirosaka walked through the sleety rain, seemingly not minding it all at all. What are you doing? Look how hard it's raining. You derp. She stopped and I called out to her. When I did. so I took her hand and pulled her under the eaves with me. Jesus Christ, you're soaking wet.
ええ、まあ、そうですね。
She doesn't look happy at all. Hirsaga looked away from me, more as though it were a hassle than because she felt awkward. The guitar case she was carrying was as wet as she was. Either she just didn't care, or it was waterproof because she made no attempt to cover it. What are you doing out this late? Were you singing outside again?
いえ、さすがにこんな時間には歌ってませんでしたけど。
So you're just walking around then. I was relieved to hear that. Public order around here was pretty good. If you frolicked even a little, there was a local security company that could be dispatched. But even so, it had its limits. This was no place for a girl to walk around alone at night in the rain. For the time being, I'll take you home. I'll have to buy an umbrella at the nearby convenience store. Even if the rain eased up, I didn't want to run through it carrying her guitar. Hirsaga was already soaked to the bone, so we needed an umbrella, if only as a consolation.
いえ、結構です。大丈夫ですから。
No, you need an umbrella. Hey, what if something happens to you? I didn't think there would be any weirdos wandering around in the rain, but I was still worried. Hey, don't underestimate weirdos. If you do that, it's over.
その時はその時じゃないですか。
Well, that is... her apathy annoyed me. Apathy is death. It wasn't like I was trying to force her to do it, but it wasn't good for her to care so little about herself. You...
私のことです。先輩には関係ないことじゃないですか。
I know, but I'm a meddler, so... I would feel guilty if an acquaintance got caught up in some trouble. You understand that, right? Hirsaga looked offended.
今バカにしませんでしたか。
No, oh my god. You're... What are those? A little. But anyway, it's late, so go home. I'll forcibly walk you there if I have to. Come on.
無理やり送られても。私、家に入れないので、結局どこかに行くしかないんですけど。
Question mark? Why? What do you mean you can't get into your house? It was late, but what could she have meant by can't get into her house? Did she run away? Was she thrown out? A plethora of scenarios came to mind.
鍵、なくしましたから。家に誰もいませんし、今夜は帰ってきません。
Oh. I lost my key once. It was not a pleasant experience. She was surprisingly calm despite the moderate to serious situation she was in. You lost your keys?
はい。なので無理です。
Come on over. Come on. Hirsaga squeezed her guitar case. She didn't look nearly as troubled as her situation demanded. Then what were you planning to do tonight?
さあ。今日はとりあえずその辺でどうにかしようと思ったんですけど。
Time for Toru's meddling to kick in. I looked up at the sky, but it was still gloomy. The rain was a little lighter than it had been, but it was still falling. Is there a manga cafe with a shower around here? Fancy. Or maybe like a capsule hotel? No, Hirsaga seemed to have a lot of money, so maybe an actual hotel would work.
そんなところがあるんですか。
The capsule hotels, those things where like you lay down in like a small little section. Eh? No, I mean really, what were you planning to do? I asked her again. I didn't know whether she was just unfamiliar with manga cafes or whether she hadn't thought of anything.
さあ、なるようになったんじゃないですか。
She literally just goes with the flow, man. Hirsaga really looked like she didn't give a shit. I thought about just throwing her into a place she could stay at the night and then going home, but unfortunately I didn't know many places like that other than my own house. Hint, hint. Wink, wink. Not wink wink because that's creepy, but hit nudge nudge, you know? In my stupid talks with Tetsuya, I'd heard of love hotels, but of course I couldn't take her there. Oof.
先輩はおせっかい焼かなくても大丈夫ですよ。お気になさらず。
Yeah, but again, I'd feel responsible. If I was the kind of person who could not worry after all this, then my life would be so much easier. To not worry. How wonderful would it be if I was capable of that? To just not give a crap about anything. Much like her, actually. Ah, Jesus, fine. At this rate, you'll catch a cold, so come on. Come to my place. I'll let you use the shower.
先輩の家ですか。だけど家族がいるんじゃないですか。
Family? Ah, I don't have family. Not anymore. Theories. Maya may have been sister at some point. Wee woo, Space Marines. I live by myself. What's that face for?
何でもありません。先輩がどうしてもそうしたいならそれでいいです。
I'm actually surprised that she didn't fight back on that. She had looked like she was thinking something bad, but in that case, that was all the more reason not to leave her alone. Just fucking... I heaved a grand sigh, the likes of which I hadn't heaved lately. Then I decided to go buy an umbrella at the nearby convenience store. In the meantime, Hirasaka waited for me, all the while looking like she couldn't care less. She's just, I don't give a shit anymore. We went back to, why is no one home at her place? I'm concerned about this woman. We went back to my apartment in the rain. Hirasaka had been fully exposed to the rain until I found her, so she was soaking wet. At this rate, it seemed likely that she'd catch a cold. I'll give her one of my jerseys. It'll be fine. The umbrella I'd bought wasn't terribly handy either. That was because Hirasaka was trying harder to keep her guitar dry rather than herself. I couldn't tell whether she valued it or not, but when I tried to carry it, she wouldn't let me. For now, you'd better take a shower before you catch a cold. I ain't want no girl with hypothermia showing up. As we entered the apartment, I threw a bath towel at Hirasaka, who finally put down her guitar case.
先輩も濡れてるみたいですけど、いいんですか？
Yeah, but I wasn't, like, out as much in the rain as you were. I'll go in later. You're more soaked than me, after all.
そうですか。ならお言葉に甘えてお借りします。
Excellent. Get in there. After driving Hirasaka into the bathroom, I realized something. Oh, you need a change of clothes? Hey! Hirasaka was already in the bathroom and carelessly throwing her clothes at me through the crack in the door. That included her skirt and underwear, of course.
もしかして着たまま浴びろとでも言うんですか？
What? Why is that even the first thought? Hirasaka asked, poking her head out from behind the door. I could see her bare shoulder, and suddenly I felt a sense of danger. Wee woo, danger. Space Marines. No, that's fine. Perfectly fine. Was I being overly conscious, even though I was the one who had brought an underclassman all the way here and was letting her use my shower? Nothing suspicious about that. Hirasaka disappeared back into the bathroom. Somehow managing to stifle my inner panic, I thought about what I should do next. Barge in or peek? Are you fucking serious? I was hoping the choice would just pop up like right there, without no other explanation. I shook those thoughts out of my head just as fast as they came inside. Honestly, I feel like she wouldn't even give a fuck. As the first not stupid thoughts come into my mind, the first thing I realized was that I wasn't actually that wet. I dried my coat that was damp from the rain and threw my socks and such in the laundry basket. I would need to dry Hirasaka's clothes too. Do I have a dryer? I hope so. No, we probably have one of those things where I have to use the washer and dryer elsewhere. My hair would be fine if I dried it a bit with the blow dryer. As I was doing so, I heard the sound of the shower from the other side of the door. I froze in place. Ooh! Come on now. It wasn't like this was the first time a girl had taken a shower in my apartment. Saki had done it plenty of times. And Club Prez. That didn't mean I was used to it, though. Even with Saki, I froze when I became conscious of it, and hell, it usually broke loose after that. I figured there was something wrong with a man if he got used to situations like these. Well, no, if you're with a woman for a long time, they're gonna end up taking a shower at your place, right? Like, it's not like a big deal or anything. There was a naked girl on the other side of the door taking a shower. Was it really my fault for thinking about it? I forced the urge that welled within me down with my self-control, which had been honed over many years. We just need to experience tranquility, alright? At the same time, I wiped up the drops of water off the floor. I'm composed. Calm down. What a spectacular escape from reality. As I resisted, my eyes went to the wet guitar case still sitting next to the entrance. I would have felt bad wiping it off with the same thing I used for the floor, so I got a new hand towel. Oh, nice guy. As I wiped off the rain, I suddenly noticed something. When I looked at think of a guitar case, I think of them of having various stickers stuck all over them, like stickers from music clubs and some such. But Arasaka's guitar case, although it had plenty of scratches and stains, there were no decorations of any sort. There were no indications of her being in a band or liking anything. It was just the instrument. There was nothing accompanying it. It was almost like she was treating it like a violin case or something. Do people not do anything with their violin cases? No, like, stickers? No customization options? To her, the guitar was just a simple instrument. It wasn't like everyone who played a guitar was in a band. Normally, I would have been able to think that, but perhaps because of Hirasaka's words, I thought of something unnecessary. So long as she could sing, it was fine. It was good that no one noticed. Why did Hirasaka sing?
Senpai.
Oh god, yes. I swear to God. Wah! Well, what is it? He just, wah! And then, like, she's, like, naked before him, and he's like, wah! Like, does the double wah. When I turned around, Hirasaka was poking her face out from behind the door again. She was leaning out further than she did before, and I could see the upper part of her chest. Oh! She has no boobs. I think it was pure escapism that I was calm enough to think that.
いえ、後からって言ってましたけど、いつ入ってくるのかと思いまして。
Not now. God damn it. Huh? I couldn't understand what she was saying.
ですから、てっきり後から一緒に入ってくるものかと。
No. Oh my god, my brain actually fucking just fried there. I feel like I'm a robot. No, I'm going to take one after you're finished, not, hiding my agitation with all my might, I played the gentlymans, like Gonta. Thanks to Saki, I had plenty of opportunities to hone my self-control, but for some reason, I couldn't feel happy about those experiences coming in handy.
そうですか。それならそれでいいんですけど。
Hey, this girl's okay with whatever we do. Not closing the door all the way, she pulled in a bath towel. Then I remember that I still hadn't prepared a change of clothes for Hirasaka. I haven't been doing shit. Saki always brought her own stuff when she came over. Wear this for now. I'll dry your clothes. I hurriedly grabbed some long-hemmed shirts of mine and put them near the door. I placed a shirt I'd received at Saki's house, which was big enough even for me, where the towel had been. Then I threw Hirasaka's clothes into the washing machine. Okay, right, so I do have the washing machine and the dryer in the house. That's the best. That is the best. I don't like going to laundromats and shit. Thank you, all-in-one washing machine with a fully automatic drying function. What? A wash? A washing machine that can dry? What? I've never heard of this. What is this? As I thought this, I tried not to be conscious of what I was grabbing and throwing into it. Just throw it in. Don't even. I paid no heed to the fact that both the upper and bottom halves were light blue.
着替えありがとうございます。
There she is. Dear God. Self-control. Hirasaka came out obediently wearing the shirt I'd given her, even though there were some articles of clothing available. For some reason, she was just wearing only the shirt. Hold on, do I have to... Let me do... It covers perfectly. The shirt was plenty long, but still seemed dangerous.
先輩、こういうのが趣味なんですか?
Yes, actually. Wee woo help. Rolling up the slightly too long sleeves, Hirasaka sounded a little annoyed. To be honest, I'm a little partial to it. I wanted to say something about it being a coincidence, but I wasn't enough of a gentleman to be able to deny it when Hirasaka was dressed like that. I wanted to be honest about what I liked.
まあ別にいいですけど。
She shrugged it off. I had a hard time trying to tell what she was thinking. Yeah, because she acts like she doesn't give a crap about most things.
先輩もシャワー浴びるんですよね。
Dude, watch her peep on us. That'd be great. Yeah, I'll do that. I didn't really feel the need, and I thought that it might feel weird to go in after Hirasaka, but then I realized that was the only place I could take refuge at this time. There's a dryer over there, so dry your hair and don't go through my stuff.
さすがに恩をあだで返すような真似はしません。
just start snooping around. I decided to trust Hirasaka for the time being and take my shower. I really wanted to calm myself down. And so we chilled for a little bit. Come out, you know. After my brief shower, I changed into my indoor clothes and came out. Hirasaka was sitting on my bed waiting. I was relieved to see that she had dried her hair properly. According to the dryer, whether it was because there was a large amount or because the clothes were wetter than I thought, it would still be a while before Hirasaka's clothes were dry. At this rate, it'll take all night to dry your clothes. That is... God, you know what? Even though it's a washer and a dryer all in one, all night to dry your clothes, fuck that. Not that it can be helped. It looked like she'd have to stay the night. Oh, jeez.
別に出て行っても構いませんけど。
No, that's fine. How could I tell you to get out after all this? That'd be fucked up. If I could do that, then I wouldn't have brought her in the first place. Just saying. Well then, I'll have to make I'll just make a place for me to sleep. I probably could have just slept on the sofa like when Saki forcefully stayed over. Us sharing a bed in her most recent sleepover was not in any way how it usually panned out, and it was a bit of an emergency. I didn't expect her to threaten me like that. Just then, Hirasaka tilted her head, looking mystified for some reason.
別々なんですか?
What is your thought process? Why do I get the feeling I've heard this conversation before? From two other people? Suddenly, I thought of the face of my self-proclaimed sister smiling at me with a set of cold, unmoving eyes. Dude, she gonna bust open that door.
いや、てっきり一晩泊める代わりに見返りを要求してくると思っていたんです。
Wow, you have low thoughts of me. Damn, I felt that right in my butt. What? My nuggets. Why'd I say butt? Whatever. Well, I'm sure that probably happened somewhere in this world. Certainly, this wasn't something out of the realm of possibility. I raised my glasses and rubbed my brow, wondering whether I should ask or not, before finally deciding to say it. Hey, Hirasaka, this is probably none of my business, but I don't think that sort of thing's good.
そうですね。一般的にはそうだと思います。
Just expecting something? Then...
ならも何も。私も今日が初めてですけど。
Monk-S. Jesus. Then why are you saying that? And do you really think I'm the sort of guy who would just demand that sort of thing in return?
思うも何も。私と先輩の付き合いってそれがわかるほどはないと思いませんか？
I guess she's playing it safe. You know, she's just expecting the totally expected. That's true. I'm surprised you even agreed to come to the apartment of someone like that.
まあ、先輩はひどいことはしなさそうでしたから。
Oh, she's given the little blushy blushes. Look at his cheeks. For some reason, she blushed and looked away. Her reaction made me a little uncomfortable. It stirred far too many emotions. She was sitting on the bed, so her thighs, yes, were completely visible. I could almost see under the hem of her shirt. Also, she left way too many buttons undone. Unintentionally, I imagined the something in return that Hirasaka was talking about. If I said I was gonna do it, what would you do?
初めてなので、できるだけ優しくしてもらえると助かります。
It's fine, just be gentle, God. Okay, let's style that down a notch. Especially me. I took a deep breath and calmed down a little.
先輩。
Just this fucking girl. Hirasaka peered at me in a way that I could almost see down her shirt. I was going to be calming down anytime soon. Just so you know, I'm not gonna do anything.
いいんですか？
That compensation would be seriously one-sided, and I can't make a trade like that. That'd be fucked up.
つまり、対価が釣り合えば、初めての相手でも先輩はするんですね。
What does more fair mean? If it were fair, well, if you really want to give me something in return for letting you stay, you could just buy me lunch or something. You don't have to do that. Why is that the first thing? To be honest, getting to see Hirasaka dressed like this was more than enough compensation for me. Hirasaka thought for a moment.
本当に何もしなくていいんですか？世の中には、最後までしないで済ませる方法もあるって聞いてますけど。
What even is both this girl and the situation right now? I suddenly remembered the dream I had with Club Prez. I swear to God. Okay, it didn't do a flashback. We had certainly finished without going all the way, but it's gonna do it again. Nope, not good. Just remembering it has started to make me think, well, that would be fine, wouldn't it? No! That was just a one-time thing. But this was reality, not the world of dreams. Besides, it wasn't okay to just do it because it was a dream either. Hey now, it still wouldn't be fair. And what are you saying even though you have no experience?
未経験というのが嘘だったらどうします？
I wouldn't do anything? It doesn't matter to me whether it's true or not. And even if you're used to this sort of thing, I won't do anything. It's none of my business. I would just need a pillow and a blanket since I would let Hirasaka use the bed, and maybe we would sleep with the heater on. Her sleepwear was too light to be called sleepwear after all.
私、本当に経験ないですよ。
I figured you were just using it as a hypothetical question. I see. And what's wrong with that? Hirasaka seemed somewhat annoyed that I wasn't giving her my full attention.
普通、男の人ってこういう機会があったら襲ってくるものじゃないんですか？
Maybe not all men are. Oh my God, woman. Maybe about half of them. They would probably make a move if they weren't thinking. I answered vaguely as I prepared blankets. If I seriously paid her any attention, my self-control would give out. Hirasaka was pretty after all, so as a guy, the situation was difficult to deal with.
後先ですか？
You know, when they let their penis take control of their body? Right, like maybe they got a girlfriend or something else. Or you aren't their type, or if they've actually considered the consequences. Don't go thinking that all men are monkeys that live by instinct.
その中に先輩の理由はあるんですか？
Mine is that I've considered the consequences for both of us. And in my case, I was used to turning down advances from women. Although, if someone heard that, they would probably think that was an insult to men everywhere. I've tossed her a Saga futon. She caught it and buried her face in it.
先輩の布団なんかいい匂いしますね。
I know, right? It's got that nice musky smell. Please stop saying things that are hard to respond to. As I continued preparations, Harasaga looked at me, still holding the futon. I was grateful that she wasn't saying anything else weird, but I couldn't calm down with her watching me either. All right, I got it. In that case, I want you to tell me about your circumstances.
事情ですか？いえ、別にバージンなんてそのうち捨てることになるんですから。先輩なら優しそう。
No, not, oh my god, not that! Losing your key is one thing, but I want to know why you were wandering around like that. If that conversation continued, I'd be the one who would be uncomfortable. But that aside, I sensed similar feelings from Hirasaka. It was like she was running away, or that she was giving up after not knowing what to do. I didn't want to get into her circumstances too deeply, but I would be worried if stuff like this continued.
ちょっとした家出です。どうせ気づかないし、気にしないと思いますけど。
Hirasaka sulked a little as she held the futon.
私の家、誰も帰ってきませんから。外泊しようがどうせ気づきません。
Feels real bad right now. Up until now, she had made it look like she didn't care about anything, but now she was finally starting to look her age. I felt like I had seen the first signs of emotion from her.
もっとも、気づいたところで心配もしないでしょうけど。
Is that so? I couldn't put on airs and say no parent doesn't worry about their child or don't worry them. This was a family whose circumstances I didn't really know. In Hirasaka's family, maybe that's how it was. Even though it wasn't the case around me, I harbored no illusions that adults were all people of character.
自分の仕事が大事な人ですから。おじのところに預けておけば、とりあえず私は安心なんでしょうし。
Come to think of it, she did say she was the school president's niece. I'd been wondering which of Hirasaka's parents was related to him. From the way she was speaking, it was doubtful whether she even had both parents. Yeah. He even said yeah. But that was no reason for Hirasaka to get hurt. Your family circumstances are none of my business, but I wasn't thinking of doing anything like getting deeply involved or doing something about her problems. The hand I could extend for the sake of other people's happiness wasn't that long. If you want to vent, I'll listen to you. All I can say is that I don't want you to do anything too reckless.
愚痴ですか?
Yeah, I don't want to get all haughty and say, don't do this or that, but it just worries me that someone like you could be wandering around at night, alright? It'd be difficult for me if Hirasaka got entangled with some weirdo and got hurt because of it. It was a self-righteous way of reaching out my hand just because I wanted peace of mind. I didn't want to step into her family problems, but I could at least lend an ear.
別に。先輩にはそこまで気にしてもらわなくても大丈夫です。
Maybe you are, but... Hirasaka tilted her head like a small animal, not entirely sure as to what I was alluding to. My self-control wavered briefly, but I restrained myself. She really had a way of endearing herself into a man's heart, a way that was different from Saki. You said that it was your first time, so you wanted me to be gentle. If you keep wandering around like this, then even that wish might not come true. For some reason, she glared at me with upturned eyes. The worthless part of me thought, so I'll be gentle with you now. But I endured it. If you don't want that, then you can vent to me. We can just talk at a family restaurant somewhere.
人に愚痴を言ってもどうにもならないじゃないですか。
Really? It makes you feel better, doesn't it? The relationship between me and Club Prez was a lot like that. We vented about things that were hard to talk about to other people, and that let us laugh together without getting too deeply into it. We were friends, but we didn't poke our noses into each other's privacy, so we got along well enough. It was a strange but trusting relationship. Maybe that was why me and Club Prez were able to still keep things the same way they were after that dream, and not be awkward. Hirasaka and I might end up like that too, though if we didn't, I wouldn't have minded. But Hirasaka looked away from me, not seeming to care.
そんなの面倒です。
You are... I see. Well, that's all for now. If we don't get to sleep, we won't be able to get up tomorrow. It had already been late when I picked up Hirasaka, so it was really late now. But Hirasaka was still sitting on the bed, looking at me as I laid on the sofa. Is there something else,
そんな優しいんだかそうだかわからない変なことを言われるより、いっそ乱暴に襲われた方が気が楽でした。
Well, I wouldn't have felt better. Yeah, well...
先輩は本当におせっかいです。
People can't get what they always want, alright? Hirasaka showed her dissatisfaction by climbing into the futon and turning her back towards me. Even if I had made a move on her, it wouldn't have solved anything. In fact, I'd probably just regret it. Still, I was a little worried whether we'd be able to make it through the night without anything happening. If I got caught in that dream, maybe I won't wake up until morning. Or she's gonna show up in the dream too. All the more haps. Hello? Oh god, when it goes super bright, my eyes. And so, here I was again. I bet you everyone's already here. Hello? Before I was even aware of it, the doors closed behind me. Whoa, well, that was fast. Today, I was determined to open the doors before they could close, but apparently I wasn't allowed to. Or maybe they had closed precisely because I had thought that.
タール、遅いわよ。って、なんで私の顔を見るなりそんな仏頂面してんのよ。
I knew everyone would already be here and be like, "You're late!" In response to the voice coming from behind me as I tried the doorknobs, I turned around and sighed. I was just thinking again about how you're a regular now too, Club Prez.
なんかすっかり馴染んでるよね。
We got our own little Alice in Wonderland tea party going on. Alice was the only one who had no studying materials in front of her. She was enjoying her tea and sweets. I guess she wasn't going to participate in the study group today.
あ、兄さん。
Yeah, yes. Saki sat next to Club Prez with her books spread out in front of her. Apparently, Saki was having Club Prez look at her notes. But Saki looked really tired. What had she been studying?
さきちゃん、トールも来たし、ちょっと休憩しない？
Yeah, it's my arrival initiates break time.
ええ、そうね。兄さん、今日は来るのがずいぶん遅かったじゃない。
I probably shouldn't say there's a girl in my bed right now. That is not any of you. If I did, well, Saki's probably gonna barge into my room tomorrow anyway. Like, well, various things happened. This flow of time between here and reality was supposed to be different. But how long had Saki been waiting for me in this dream world?
さきちゃんって理系弱かったのね。トールの妹なんだから強いと思ってたのに。
That's just assumptions. Ah, I see, so that's why she was tired. Saki was really bad at science. And even teaching it to her took a lot of effort. I'm bad at the arts, so I think we're perfectly balanced. And if we were just talking about grades, Saki's PE grades were better than mine. She had a lot of extracurricular lessons, so her grades were probably thanks to that. Yep. Are you just enjoying yourself today, Alice? Just chilling over there, drinking your tea, showing your panties a little?
この間までみんなに付き合ってみたけど、私テストとかないし、勉強も必要ないよね。
I don't know if I have tests in real life.
試験も何にもないとか、まるでどっかの妖怪ね。
What if she is a demon? I had said that before too. Yeah, she's like a ghost haunting this room.
いや、違うよね。多分起きてる時の私もいるよね。妖怪とかじゃないよね。
Oh no. It's spoopy, scary skeletons. So she said, but there was absolutely no proof. We all looked away from Alice.
勉強するします。トールも来たし、一緒に勉強しよう。きっと大事よね。人として生きるために。
I must live as a human! But I'm tired today, so I don't feel like studying either. I had studied before I went to bed, and various things had happened after that too, so for now I was going to drink some black tea. Oh, yep, here it comes. Just then I heard the doors opening. I tensed up thinking that maybe it was Maya. Yup. But Maya hardly ever came through the doors. Everyone directed their attention towards the doors at once. Confused, I turned around as well. There it is.
夢の中でまで先輩の顔を見るなんて、どういうことですかこれ。
Like just... And the one standing there was Arasaka. Everyone froze. Fuck.
やっぱりあんなところで寝たせいで意識したんでしょうか。ねえ、夢の中の先輩。
Don't... God damn it, you're gonna expose me! Arasaka stared at me. The one who moved first among us was...
また増えた。
Arasaka jumped and cowered in surprise at Alice's sudden outburst.
増えたって何がですか？
Another dream person. I heaved a deep sigh.
平坂さん？
Oh lord.
ハスのさんと。
It's a very weird dream, huh? Club Prez let out a languid sigh.
ねえトール、なんで理事長の姪っ子がここにいるのよ。
You see, we fell asleep in the same vicinity. I'm not gonna say where she is.
テストかな。だけどあそこから入ってきたし、またトールの知り合いみたいだけど。
Like this outfit going on here. Wonder who she's representing. Even as she murmured this, Alice walked over to Hirasaka before anyone else.
私、鳥海アリス。あなたのお名前は？
But she's so much smaller.
広坂恵子です。よし、恵子ちゃん。寝る前のことを覚えてる？どうやってここまで来た？
Please don't tell them. It occurred to me that this might be bad, but I didn't know how to stop her. If I panicked, they would get suspicious. What should I do? The moment of hesitation was a fatal mistake.
今日は先輩のお部屋に泊まることになって、それで気がつけばここに。
I'm fully expecting to hear a gunshot whiz past my head. Suddenly, I found myself being pushed down onto the sofa I was sitting on. The one pushing me was pushing me down, I think you could guess. I didn't understand how this happened at all. Had the dream been altered? No, this wasn't the time to worry about that. Saki sat on my lap in a side saddle position and was looking down at me with what would be best described as the fury of 1,000 suns. Hidden beneath a smile, of course.
兄さんも当然覚えてるのよね。一体どういうことか説明してくれるかしら。
Oh, I'd love to just... You know, I'm fucked. And with an all too intimidating smile, my life is on the line. What are you talking about, Saki? Come on, let's study. Our tests are just around the corner, after all, you know? I took hold of Saki and tried to move her off me. If we stayed like this, I'd be done for.
そうやってごまかすんだ。私も興味あるのにな。
Fuck you, Club Prez. Don't give me that cat face. Club Prez was resting both her arms and chest on the back of the sofa as she poked my cheek with her finger from above. Between her voice and her movements, my body froze as I remained unable to move Saki. While Saki was on top and Club Prez was from behind, there was absolutely nowhere to run. Seeing this, Harasaga looked a little bewildered, while Alice seemed to be wondering whether she should stop them or not.
先輩ってトールだよね。今日はトールの部屋にお泊まりだったの？
I'm gonna be fucking killed in my dream. Alice tried to understand the situation without stopping them. Not only that, but she even turned her back to me, apparently deciding not to get involved. Alice, you were supposed to be my only ally. Oh, I sensed Sagi's irritation growing at the words, staying the night at Toru's place. Alice! You're abandoning me!
見捨てられると困るようなことしたのね。困ったわ。一体どういうことなのか。兄さんのことなのに全然わからないなんて。
Oh, it's like you just know she's gonna stab me in the throat.
トールもなかなかやるわね。相手が理事長の姪っ子ってところはちょっとあれだけど。襲ったの？もう手を出したの？それとも、もともとそういう仲だったのかしら？
Did you have to do the boob push out thing while you're making me seem like I'm a bad person?
そんな関係の子がいたなんて。
His fucking face.
今夜そうなるのかなと思っていたんですけど。
But okay, Saki clenched harder. Something like pitch black miasma started to spill out of her. Oh god. Wait, calm down. Just listen to what I have to say, please.
大丈夫。落ち着いてるわ。落ち着いてなければ、何をしてでもマイヤちゃんを呼んでるもの。
Oh, I already know Maya's gonna show up because Kaiko's here.
ああ、そっか。トールが話さなくても、あの子に聞けば大体答えてくれそうだもんね。
And with that frightening proposition, Club Press seemed to somehow fully understand the relationship between me and Maya. Alice turned her back on me as I let out a silent shriek. It looked like she was abandoning me for this time. This time for sure. Alice! Alice!
ママ、ケイコちゃん、お茶でも飲みながらゆっくりお話を聞かせてくれるかしら。
Alice! Don't do it, Ursaka. Everyone here will remember this after they wake up. Maybe not as well as me, but they seem to remember the basics, and apparently Club President Saki studying really was paying off in school. They would certainly be able to remember today's events when they woke up. But Ursaka didn't know that, so she was looking at me with eyes full of pity.
これは私の夢なんだから。覚えてるとしても私一人に決まってるじゃないですか。
Nope. You don't understand. It's gonna be all of us. That's not true. Right now, I resented Hirasaga's calmness.
兄さんは邪魔しないの。それに、これが一体どういう状況なのか、私に説明する必要があるでしょ。私も気になるにゃ。主にトールが主張したい正当性がサキちゃんにどこまで通用するかがだけど。
You demon, you devil! I wanted to shout that, but the look on Sagi's face took the words right out of my mouth. I would end up describing tonight's events as tonight's episode as two separate events. Sagi's interrogation course, with Club Prez as a spectator, and Alice and her Saga's laid-back tea party. I'm not dead yet. Jesus Christ.
つまり、
雨に濡れてた後輩を見捨てられずに止めたと、トールはそういうのね。
See, I'm the good guy. I didn't do nothing to her, didn't do nothing to nobody. I'm just the goodiest good man you ever did see. All right, don't at me.